A $2,000 fourth stimulus check update, as the president has yet again endorsed the distribution of money to us in the form of a dividend payment, otherwise known as a stimulus check. I've had a lot of questions rolling in over the last week or so from many of you in this community, reaching out, asking, where are we at with this? When are we getting it? What are the latest updates? How much more do we know about this? What other information is out there on this? So, I'm coming back in this dedicated video right here to answer those questions for you, bring you the latest details on this. And what has the president recently said about this $2,000 plus distribution or dividend to everybody? Now, at this point, I would anticipate that you heard about this by now. A little over a week ago. I've had videos and live streams talking about this, by the way. But a little over a week ago, the president came out for the fourth time now endorsing the distribution of money to us in the form of a dividend distribution, rebate, whatever you want to call it. It's all coming down to a stimulus check is literally what this is all about. Okay, now, obviously, he wants to grab the money out of tariff revenues, so obviously it was maybe a little bit of a pitch and support for his tariffs, but at the end of the day, that's where the money would be coming from. Okay, so that's one of the questions that I've seen showing up down below in the comment section a number of times on live streams as well as in videos. People reaching out saying, where's the money coming from? He can't do that. He can't get the money. H actually can. He actually can. The money from the tariffs can be used for something like this. Okay. So, absolutely yes, they could use tariff revenues to distribute money in the form of a $2,000 plus dollar stimulus or dividend, whatever you want to call it, all referring to the same thing. Now again, like I said, I would imagine that you heard about what he said, but he made a post again a little over a week ago now, where he wrote, a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. Everyone. Keywords there. Okay, so anyway, I want to focus on this a little bit more. At this point, we still don't have a whole lot more information out there in regards to what do they identify as a high-income person. I would want to see this formally introduced in formal legislation as far as what would they consider as a high-income person. Now, you've heard me say this before in other videos recently and in live streams, but let me just tell you in context how they've identified high-income people previously over the last rounds of stimulus checks that we received back in 2020 and in 2021, they considered a high-income person as somebody with an income. An individual of 75 grand or more is basically had where they had the threshold. So, under 75 grand, no worries. Everybody would be included. That's for an individual, $150,000 or a year as a married couple or less would be considered you're eligible. More than that, that's what they considered. Well, now you're kind of high income and there's the phase out. Okay, that encompasses a huge percentage of the population. So now also, I want to point out super fast, which is this in live streams and in videos over the last a little over a week now since this information came across. I've run the numbers on this, as in, I calculated the math again in videos and I said, here's what the math looks like on this. If this reaches 85% of the population, like the last $1,400 stimulus check did back in 2021, 85% of the population is 284 million people, okay? 284 million people multiplied by $2,000 is $568 billion, is how much that would cost. Is that feasible? Is that realistic? Okay, that's another thing that we really need to think about, considering right now they're bringing in about $1 billion a day from the tariffs and they're projecting about $350 billion a year. Well, at least right now, for the tariffs and about $3 trillion-ish, give or take a little bit over the next decade. So, just numbers we want to take into consideration and think about. Okay, now, where are we currently at with this and who would be included on this? Okay, well let's think back to what the president said and what I said just a minute ago, which is this. He said will be paid to everyone, not including high-income people, right? So he said these things, everyone being everyone, apparently X excluding high-income people. And again, we want to know what is the definition of a high-income person. according to what they would have here. Everyone else being, well, everyone, right? I mean, here's the thing. If they're only looking at one metric, which is income, to determine somebody's eligibility for this, then everybody else would be included according to what he's saying here, right? So, there's still a lot of unanswered questions. I'm just being 100% fair with you. There's a lot of unanswered questions on this whole thing. And again, I'd want to see this formally written up and clearly identified and defined as far as who is everybody. What else do you determine as high income, right? What other qualifiers would there be for somebody to be eligible for this? Or what other disqualifiers would there be in this to basically disqualify somebody from getting this payment? And what I mean by that is, if somebody owes, for example, back child support, do they still get it? What about, all these other groups of people as well, right? I mean, that's a common question and something we saw back years ago when we got the 3 stimulus checks back in 2020 and 2021. These were big questions we also had to understand, which was who would be disqualified possibly from the distribution of that money. So again, it changed on all 3 of those that we got a few years ago, and I'd want to know the details here as well, which is what would disqualify somebody from getting it. Okay, now one thing that I can tell you that would disqualify somebody from getting this would be this. If you owe back taxes, as in you have a tax liability to the federal government, as in the IRS, that would 100% be a disqualifier. Reason for that being, they're not going to give you money. If you owe the IRS money, they're not going to give you money. They're going to basically take the money that you'd be eligible for, and they would put that against the balance due to them. Is that going to make sense? So that is definitely one disqualifier, but that's a very small percentage of people that actually have outstanding, tax liability to the IRS. Okay, so that's one of them, but I want to point that out because that is certainly one. Now, some other common questions that I do get quite a bit as well, which is Social Security beneficiaries. A lot of you that watch these videos here on this channel receive Social Security or some type of benefit administered by the Social Security Administration. And again, maybe it's not retirement, but maybe it's spousal or survivors, or SSDI or SSI. Or maybe it's, VA or RRB benefits, something like this. Or maybe you're somebody who is a senior or person with disabilities or low income, something like this. Or I've also seen some people reaching out saying, I have no income, I have no income. What about me? In all of these situations, again, there's no reason that you wouldn't be included, right? The reason that I say this is because it's always predicated on income every single time. In fact, let me give you a quick little scenario and a quick little example of this. Back in 2020 and 2021, do you know who the biggest group of people was that did not get these checks? Not because they weren't eligible, but rather they didn't get them because of a variety of reasons. I'll tell you, they were 100% eligible. They were totally 100% eligible. They mostly didn't get these. I mean, like a lot of these individuals did not get these payments because of a couple of the reasons, which I'll share in a second. Do you know who the group was? I'll tell you. Probably someone you're not thinking of. Homeless people. Seriously, this is a real thing. Homeless individuals back in 2020 and 2021 were the biggest groups of individuals that did not get the stimulus checks. Oh, because they weren't eligible. False. No, it's not because they were not eligible. They were 100% eligible. They were the most eligible of everybody because they have no income. No income whatsoever. Right, for the most part, maybe some do. But for the most part, homeless individuals, when it came down to it, the studies that were conducted on this generally didn't have any income. Okay, why didn't they get them yet? Well, because in order to get it, you kind of had to have like a way to get it, right? Like a bank account, social security checks, a tax return filed, all these kinds of things, like this. So the problem was they were trying to get them paper checks, and there wasn't really a place to send a paper check, right? So that was kind of the problem that happened years ago with this situation, okay? Now, this next time around, it might be a little bit different. Who knows what they would do here, but I'm just saying it doesn't matter. My point being, with that example that I gave you, there was that even individuals with no income are totally eligible for this? Okay, so that's a very common question that I get, but as of right now, other than the president reaching out and sending out that post on Truth Social about this, we're still waiting for a whole lot more details on this. Okay, as far as when something like this could actually happen, it's anybody's really guess at this point. There's many different reasons why this could actually be distributed sooner. And there's a lot of reasons why this could be distributed, who knows, sometime next year. Again, it's going to be based on a variety of factors. The one factor that I like to focus on, that I bring up often, which is look at the overall economy. When the economy is not doing great, that's when they like to distribute money to prop it back up and to reinflate the bubble yet again. Okay, so again, look at it economically based. If the economy goes down the tubes, if the economy gets really bad really fast, that's when they like to distribute money. Another reason would be, obviously, the midterm elections. Midterm elections coming up next year. That's certainly going to be a very big catalyst to distribute money in the form of a dividend, a distribution, a rebate, a stimulus, whatever you want to call it. These are always high catalyst reasons to do something like that. Another being this, the tariffs, obviously, right? The tariff revenues that we're talking about, billions and billions of dollars per month, like $30 billion a month, like $1 billion a day is how much they're bringing in here. That's incredible. That's a lot of money. Well, as you heard me say earlier in this video, apparently this whole thing is going to cost about $568 billion to send out $2,000 for about 85% of the population, encompassing 284 million people. Again, $568 billion. Does that logically make sense? And does the math work on that based on the tariffs that they're bringing in? Right. Well, if you look at it on a year-over-year basis, honestly, the numbers don't really make sense. If you look at it on a decade basis, as in how much money will they bring in over the course of a decade? $3+ trillion, the numbers work, the math works. So you have to see how they're going to, to slice this whole thing as well, right? So anyway, there's a lot of unanswered questions, but for those of you that are reaching out, obviously I'm still watching everything very, very closely. As we get more information on anything about this, I will certainly bring it to your attention. But quick side note, and I mentioned this in other videos as well, this is now the 4th endorsement out of the president to distribute money to us in the form of a dividend rebate distribution stimulus, whatever it happens to be. Just since January, this is now the 4th time the president has endorsed the distribution of money. The first time was back in February, the 5,000 Doge dividend. The second time was in August, the $600 rebate payment, which was actually formally introduced by Josh Hawley, Republican senator out of the state of Missouri. He wrote that one up and formally introduced it as the American Worker Rebate Act of 2025. Okay. The third time was in early October. I believe it was October 2nd. The president was out in an interview and he indicated the distribution of money from the tariff revenues between $1,000 and $2,000 is what he indicated there. Okay, that was instance number 3. And instance number 4 was on Sunday, November 9th. The president wrote on Truth Social, a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everybody. Oh, actually, sorry, he said. Everyone, I should just said everybody. He said everyone. Okay, will be paid to everyone. There you go. 4 instances in which he has indicated the distribution of money. And again, I see comments down below all the time saying, he can't do this. The money's not there. Where's he going to get the money from? And no, he's not going to do it. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what he's going to do. Okay? And again, it's not my decision at the end of the day. If it were my decision, we wouldn't sit here with all this indecision, right? But here's the thing. If the president's going to talk about it, I feel like, with 4 endorsements on this, I don't know. I mentioned this before in another video just the other day as I said this. If the president does not follow through with this, I'm just going to be fair with you. I don't think that's a smart move. If he talks about it this much and does not follow through, I don't think that's very good messaging. I'm just being fair because here's the thing. When he talks about it and it doesn't happen, if it does or if it happens, first off, that's great amazing. So many people are very happy. A lot of people are getting that financial relief. A lot of people are feeling like, wow, finally, I'm so happy. This is a very good thing. If he keeps talking about it and nothing happens, I feel like kind of just lost a lot of trust of a lot of people. Okay? And again, I'm not making a political video here. This is nothing against the president or anybody in particular. I'm just saying let's just make some points here, right? That's why it's so incredibly important. The more the times that he talks about it, in my opinion, the more that they need to follow through with this, because if they don't, it's not going to be a good day, okay? I'm just saying it's not going to be a good sign if they keep talking about it. But yet they don't do it. I would say that's not a good thing. If they keep talking about it and they do it, I would say hooray. People are happy and they followed through with their word, and that gives them a lot more credibility going forward. Just making some points here, okay? But anyway, for those of you that reaching out looking for an update, this is where we're at right now. I will obviously continue to keep you updated as we get any more information on this. I will certainly keep you updated with more information as it's hitting the wire in live streams, in dedicated videos, whatever it happens to be. I'll bring it to your attention immediately as this information comes across. If you have not done so, please consider subscribing. 100% free. Big subscribe button down below. Please share the video. Big share button down below. Otherwise, enjoy your day. If you're on Medicare, if you have not done so yet, make sure to call Chapter, get a review of your Medicare plan. There's only a little bit of time left on Medicare annual enrollment. If you miss the window, you're going to be locked in. You already know that by now. I've said it a ton of times over the last several weeks. Anyway, just trying to help you out. Again, free service. Chapter will help you out with your Medicare. Give them a call. It's 100% for free. The average person is saving well over $1,000. In fact, I still have this sheet right here. It's been sitting here for a while. These are all the people. I have a couple pages here. All the people that have saved collectively $100,000 plus just between this group. Hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a year that they're saving collectively from calling Chapter right there, getting help with their Medicare plans. This group has collectively saved over $100,000 just because they made a simple call. Anyway, hope this helps you. Please enjoy your day. Take care. Hope this helps. As always, subscribe, share the video. Until next time, enjoy, and I'll catch you again later in the next video. I'll see you for now.